Hopefully we'll have a few minutes. If you started a story, that should be Messiah when we're Messiah here. All right. So, it's mamish a nest that we have to do in this man that's kosher, the muta marzika meruba, but that's the way it is. Baruch Hashem, we manage every week. So today is the mitzvah. Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, so hopefully today we'll manage to do, even though the yom is kotzer, the malach is meruba, hopefully we'll manage to cover. Every moment is precious. Okay, someone asked me this week, he called me up, he's an agent, he's a real estate agent, and where he lives, there is a cloister, and there's a house right near the cloister, and he can't find a koine for it. And it's sitting already. It's sitting vacant for a while. All of a there's a church right there, and he heard that the church wants to expand, and he's thinking about doing it. So he wants to know if he can go into the church. I'm telling you, shilas. I don't make it up. I'm just telling you the shilah. Sometimes when a person asks a shilah, what's supposed to be the shilah is a dava poshet. And the vice versa. So he said in his mind it's posher that he's allowed to do it. I'm surprised why he didn't think that this is a shaila. Could you sell a house to a church? But he didn't ask. That's interesting.
And the seller would be a goy also?
The church. You sell the church. You're selling it to the church.
No, the seller
is a Jew.
No, the seller is I don't know. The agent
maybe it makes a difference if the seller is
agent is
if the seller is a goy and the buyer is a goy, maybe it's different than a different scenario.
Okay. So the agent is a yid and he's selling he wants to sell the house to the church, and he's asking me a shaila, is he allowed to walk into the church? It's not going to go into the sanctuary, he's going to go into administrative offices. It's a shaila, someone asked. I'm not it's interesting because, but anyway, that was the question the person asked. That was the question that the person asked. And he wanted to know, it's very important to him. I should get back to him as soon as possible. My first reaction was, it happens to be a zeh chushavayid. To tell him, dipsta chazach chushavayid, and the bist from the groise kanuim, in Brooklyn, so let's pass the Eibishter can give you for us otherwise, but that I'm not a Bal Musar here. He asked me a shayla, he called it off, ask a shayla. So I told him I'll get back to him. So the emphasis there really is two shaylas over here. Even I didn't ask if the seller of the house was a goy. I asked a few questions that but it's not so relevant. The bottom line is that there's two shaylas here. One is he allowed to be an agent to sell a house to a base tifla, to a church? And the second one is he allowed to walk into the church? Now, Bazagufa, is the entrance the same entrance to the sanctuary and the administrative offices? And what happens if there's a separate entrance from the back that goes into administrative offices? He says he doesn't know. So in other words, the shayla was, whatever. He'll get back to me. He still didn't. Okay. So let's read it quickly. Everyone has a sheet? Okay, good. Zok the Gemara, here's for you. Zok the Gemara, Shaila Allah. Rabbi, Reb Chanina Rabbi Yonas Avkaza B'Urche, Moto Lahu, Terei Shvili, Chat Potzi Apischa Davetz Kachom, Chat Potzi Apischa the Beizonis. There were two roads. One was going through, or right in front of a base of its come, the other one in front of a marketplace of Zoinus. Better to go in front of the Pesichas HaAron, the Nochis Yitzrei. Because this way, we know that the Chazal already killed the Yetzer Hara from Avodah Zarah. So it's not such a big challenge. Better that we go in that place so we could so we could better if we could go to this place and we could break, because Chazal left the Yetzer Hara the Chazal decided to keep, and that's a strong Yetzer Hara, so we'll break that Yetzer Hara. When the Kabbalah argued, we'll get the Scharkim. Also, when they came there, Chazinu Lazoinus, Iskanu Makamayu, that the Gemara says it was a Pella, that the Zoinus already saw them from far, so the Zoinus usually stand in front to entice people to come into their house, and here the Zoinus Lachatchila walked away and walked into, so, okay. Dr. Toisvis, like what the Gemara is saying is basically when he makes a strong achlot in his mind to stand strong in the Sionis, so the Nisayon itself already melts away before the Nisayon even comes. So the Tosfos says, "Nezla Pesichas HaAron mekan yishlilma shederech laharchik mepesach havetz kechovim kol ma she'yochel mishum diksiv al tikr v'pesach beisa umekminen le'il in the Gemara b'avetz kechovim that you're supposed to walk away from the door." So, and that's the din of Shulchan Aruch. Okay. This is a general introduction, but now I want to get into the meat, because where I think the meat of the shaila is. Tanan, there's a Mishnah. Now, by the Zohar that you dalaf on the base, here she is b'avetz kechavim. If there's a city with avetz kechavim, chutz lamuter. I'm sorry, here she is b'avetz kechavim. Chutz lamuter. Hoya chutz lo. Avetz kechavim. Toicha lamuter. In other words, wherever the Avedis Kechavim is, if it's in the city, you're allowed to be out of the city. If it's out of the city, you're allowed to be in the city. If there's a one road that's going there, it's also to go on the road. It's the day that they served Avodah Zarah, to the Notzrim, which is Sunday. So then, you're allowed to do business. And those the people that are outside the city. Outside the city, you're allowed to do business because every yokel has his own avodah zarah. It's not in the city. You're not allowed to do business. Is outside the city. Okay. Then the end of the Mishnah. I want to talk to one of my friends that lives in that city. I'm allowed to go to that city. If this city has one road, the road goes into the city, and that's it. It doesn't go. Could you give me that map for a second? It doesn't go. It's not like it goes out anywhere else. Here's the city, and there's one road. It goes in. You want to go out? You go out of the city. So then it's awesome. If there was a road that went like this, you could go. You're traveling and you go through the city. Then it's mutter. That's what Ashi says. And the reason is because it's achshad. The person that sees him on this road says, "Where's he going?" He's going to the Avodah Zarah. There's basically three Rishonim in this Mishnah. According to the Rambam, when you're not allowed to go into a city, it's maklal. It's not allowed to go in. Most chumradik. According to Rashi, it's only also to go in to do business, unless there's only one road in. And even business, according to Rashi, it's in B'yom Hashuk, which is every time there's a B'yom Ha'eid, I'm sorry. And according to Rabbi Yoina, it's only in a B'yom Yirid. Yirid means it's Agroisa Imu Yirid. Agroisa Yirid. And also, what is the reason of the problem going into the city? Rashi says if you're going on the road, it's Mishum Chshad. And the Ritva says it's covered L'Avodah Zarah. And the Rabbit says because we're scared you're going to go into the city and then you're going to do business. Let's see how the Shulchan Aruch paskins. The Shulchan Aruch says, look in the next paragraph, Simakufim Tesif Aleph, Yish Yoysu Bayirid Bayam Chagam, Vayt Kacham Miskapsa Makam Makam Zvel Chakam Lekavit, Avet Kacham Muter Leila Chutzala, Va'asa Lekonat Batoicha. Hoya Chutzala, Muter Lekonat Batoicha, Heilig Makam Makam, Asa Lavaba, Im Aderech Miyuchela. So we see that basically the Shulchan Aruch named them very lechumra, like the Rambam, and the Gros says Taket Hapela that ignore the other Rishonim. Look in the Shach. The Shach says also lekonos betoich. Kosav Rambam Pirish Mishnayit. Fikich Yivodloch Shekol Yir Shalom Asavetz Kacham Sherel and Beis Tefillah Tifla. Shuhu Beis Avetz Kacham Bli Safek Oisir Osa Laver Bo Bekabon Kolshken Loder Bo. Aber Beisha Nachnu Tachat Yedem Ba Veneseinu V'Sherchen Ba'artz Sanusam and Eskayim Bono Machakosov Avadet Tum Shom Alakim Achenim Maisi the Odom Eitz Ve'ever. Okay, that's what the Rambam says. The Rambam is so machman, it's like we say a lot of times. Sfardim have so many kulas, they go like the Mechaber, they go like the Rambam. But for the 3-4 chumras that they have, the place, a woman that doesn't have a veskavot, which is most women today, is also the shamash, unless 2 Eidim before and after, those that chumra and another 3 chumras. So all the kulas of the Rambam already, So the Rambam is a lot of times we think the Rambam is a big makel, but the Rambam is not a makel. He's just the Rambam learns the Gemara, and he learns his way of learning Gemara. He was a Rishon, he learned the Gemara in a certain way, and sometimes came up super l'chumra. Bottom line is the Shach brings the Rambam, which is very machmer. He says that no way, no how, if it's a city that has an avodah zon inside, you're not allowed to walk in. You're not allowed to live there. Elamai. He says, what are we going to do today? Where are we going to live? Where are we going to live? In the Sahara Desert? Where are we going to live? You can't live in any city in Europe, in America, South America.
Newswear.
You can go to New Square.
They're very selective.
Okay, you hear? Not everyone can move there.
Only squares can live there, period.
Uh-huh.
So you be square, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, so look. So Vozamenton, the Rambam says at least, but the base tifla itself is taka. It's also to walk in to the base tifla, and it's an absolute isur. It's an absolute isur. It's an absolute isur. The kids when we drive to schools. The kids have the discussion: is it also to look at a base tifla? So they ask Tati, is it also to look? So I know if I'm going to tell them it's also to look, it's going to be the worst thing in the world. There are lavdafka every sheet to hold, it's also to look. But taka, the Rambam holds, it's also even to look. It's also even to look. So, and that's the way the Shach says. Another thing, next Shach is also lavak, also vatur, shemarash, but afilu, dev shafilu iske rabim, afilu apikuach nefesh, also likonas boy. Very, very luchumradik. That if a person is iskei rabim, he'll go into the church, and he'll talk to the galach to try to hold back the pogrom, whatever it is. He's not allowed to go into the church, even for iskei rabim, even for pikuach nefesh, or to save his life, because they're running after him, they want to kill him, and he'll walk into the church, and they won't kill him. And also, that's mekaleach mayim from avodah zarah. He's not allowed to put his mouth over it to drink, even though he's just wanting to drink water, because it looks like he's kissing the avodah zarah. By a mine, he puts his mouth on the mine. It looks like he's serving avodah zarah. It doesn't look like he's oivid. It only looks like he's hoylech lapid. And even by a sakona, by a mine, it's only also stam. But if it's a sakona vadi, he'll die if he won't drink the water. Maybe it's mutter. So therefore, he says that maybe by sakonas nefesh is taka mutter, but otherwise, it's also to go in. Yeah, want to ask something?
Marit Ayin, I understand, but if he's going inside, no other Jews inside, only the goyim. So if he take and he drink water, only the goyim see him.
No, it's a separate thing. Mayan is there's this in the center of the city. There's an avodah zarah that shoots it. There's a fountain that shoots water. He said it's also to that's what we're talking about. So bottom line is, it's very clear in the Shulchan Aruch that it's also to walk in. It's also to walk into a church. It's also, that's it. It's flat out. It's also, and maybe it's also even if there's pikuach nefesh to save his life, it'd be also to go in.
When he says that he also to go to the church. But he means the sanctuary itself. Church.
The whole building.
So now we'll talk about the sanctuary, or how about the other rooms? How about just the chotzer of the church? How about even the chotzer of the church, right? Till now we talk about the sanctuary, the church. Now let's talk about the chotzer of the church, the offices of the church, the other things that are shaykh.
But many times they have two buildings, the church and then the,
Right.
the house that
Right.
the priest lives in,
Right.
and the offices.
Right. So that's what we'll talk about now. Amshich b'Shulchan Aruch. The Shulchan Aruch continues. Med dvarim ba'amurim b'chsanoi. Aval ben ir muter. If he lives in that city, he's allowed to go there. V'im hoylech b'shayora muter. Sagt der Rama chotzer shel avodas kechavim. Yesh emim the dinoi ke'ir shel avodas kechavim. The chotzer of avodas kechavim is the same thing like ir shel avodas kechavim. Whatever applies to ir avodas kechavim applies to chotzer. Ubezman she'ein oivik kechavim miskapsim sham liter pusa. But when the goyim are not there for their avodah zarah, a Monday, so still Monday, he's allowed to go in there to the chotzer. No, that the chotzer is just as bad as the sanctuary, and it's also imein derech oiver boy l'makom acher. If they're through this chotzer, everyone walks through this in this city. Everyone walks through this chotzer to get to the other side. Not what's happening here. So then it's mutter because he's walking. It's a shortcut to walk to the other side. Even if there's a road is going through the chotzer of the church, and everyone knows you're not going to the church, nothing. It's a shortcut. Okay, so in the Shalos of Chuvas Tzitz Eliezer, he says, he said, what's the nafkamina between these two shittas in the Magen Avraham and the Ramah? Okay, the first shitta says that when the chotzer of the church, when they're not serving avodah zarah, it's mutter to go there. Second opinion says the chotzer is just as bad as the sanctuary. So he says, what happens? A person that wants to go, he's not going to go chas v'shalom into the sanctuary of the church, but from the chvez, the chotzer of the church, you can see a beautiful view of the city. There's an art gallery there. He wants to go to the Vatican City, and so you have to go through the big kikkara that the Vatican is azoy grois, But so he wants to go in. So he says that's l'choyre tolin the machloikis. If according to the first sheet, in the day that the goyim are not serving avodah zarah, and the time that the goyim are not serving avodah zarah, if you want to go there, it's mutter. But the second sheet, and it's be awesome. And he brings it. There's a klal diad malachi. Whenever the Ramos says yesh omrim v'yesh omrim, the halach is like the second v'yesh omrim. So therefore the chumrah. And he says Ken Zayin. He says that the Vatican City is also l'chuliyam because when it comes Yom Tov, sagt man get Yom Tov Pontiv, and sekumts again da via voice atuma. And a stellt sich weg and a bima and a red. So maybe the whole chotzer becomes like a base of avodah zarah. But the truth is, what can you say? For hundreds of years, Yidden Talmidei Chachamim have been going there not only to be mishtadel for pikuach nefesh, but for disputations or things. You could say most of the Yidden that went for generations were not going because they had the choice. They had no choice. I'm not sure. There's a beautiful story in the Frierdiker Rebbe Zechroinus about that of Moshe, which was a grandson or a great grandson of the Maral, and the Lubavitch lineage goes back to this Rabbi Yoshe that spent some time in Rome and had disputations in the Vatican City, and he ended up being Makad of a lot of Yidden. There was Yidden that were their scholars, and he was Makad of, and not only was Makad of many Yidden that were Nebuch. Fell into but there was one of the big alochim that was at that time considered, a candidate to become the next Avia Vaisatuma that was Megaya and became a Yid. So we see that Yidden used to say Ad Kedei Kach that the whole chotzer of the Vatican. Anyway, no one's asking right now the Shaila if they should go to the chotzer of the Vatican. The Shaila is that this person is asking me is he wants to go in to administrative offices. That the administrative offices are not through the same door. If it's from the same door, it's much more chamor, because just like a person that goes bederech and it looks like he's going to serve avodah zarah, person walks up the front steps of a base avodah zarah, even though there is in that building, there's also administrative offices. The person, if you're saying mipnei achshad, the person doesn't know. Is it ayid michmoinim begudim and a gaiter up the steps, and he's going up to a base avodah zarah. But naniach, there's a back door and there's and that's administrative offices. But it's the end of the day, it's Kosher shalavodas kichom. If it was mamish, a separate building and it's a campus, I don't think that's what's it's inner city base avodah zarah. We're not talking about somewhere a campus with 3 acres and there were different buildings. You could say it's so even if there's a back door to go into administrative offices, it's loigora mechotzer base avodah zarah. So that's told in this machloikis and the Ramah. So maybe the Yidden that went to the Vatican City in order to print the Rashba and the Ritva, and somebody showing them were making like the first shita. But to make a sale, to walk in at Chotzer, especially like I said, it's not so posh. It doesn't. It's not a campus. It's a building. So even if it's a side door, but a person that's going to the base tiflis can walk in from a side door. I think it's clear that it's also.
But Rabbi,
invite him to a deli.
Huh?
Yeah,
Yeah, you should invite them to kosher deli for sure.
now with that Zara for 100 years ago, it's not the same like today. Today is nothing. You can't compare what was there and what now.
No, because Shulchan Aruch was written, and the Ramah was written in a time. It was the same thing that we're doing now. This is the same Shesiv Yerev. They're talking basically about what are they talking about? The Shesiv Yerev. It's the same thing. It's the same
Nonsense.
Okay.
Don't you think about it? Nonsense.
So either going to expand their operation and expand the tipler.
Oh, so now is the second shai. Lemon he's going to invite them to a deli. Okay, he's going to spend money on them now. He's going to buy for them kosher deli. So is he allowed to sell it to them? So the emphasis is a poshta mishnah lechoyre that it's also elamai. There's a big kula from Reb Chaim Kohen. Who do you know? Reb Chaim Kohen that we looked yesterday that argues with that Ivan. He's Mekel, also Mekel over here. Reb Chaim Kohen that we spoke yesterday. It's one of the Balei Toises. He almost sounds like someone that lives now in Yerushalayim. No, but he's from the Balei Toises, Reb Chaim Kohen. And Reb Chaim Kohen says, this whole din that the Mishnah says you're not allowed to sell a house because loitovi to'eva el beisecha. You're not allowed to sell a house to a guy because he's going to bring a to'eva into it. Is only in Eretz Yisrael, not in Chutz La'aretz. Let's read it inside.
It's the same budget stands based on the fifth Shavar.
Was it to do? Reb Chaim, he's that one. I don't know. I don't know all the shit. Pasuk b'Shulchan Aruch, Abba Makim sheitiru lahaskir, lo yitiru lo loitzer, k'yoytzer ba, lo yididem, mipnei shemachnu toichelim bekeva. Sagt der Ramah, idnu nog lahaskir af ladire, kiven shein noigim lahachnas avetz k'chem bebeteim. Sagt der Shach Kosher, der Chazinen de machnissen avodah zarah bebeteim. Afilu bekeva. Doiche kloim et kiven de bezman hazeh lo yevdik k'chavim heim, lo mikri elo shem k'chavim. This goes to what you're saying. It's a doichik to say, bezman hazeh, the Christians, it's a few jingles and klap takop. They're not adukim b'avodah zarah. But still, this is an avodah zarah. V'efshe b'zman hora v'ramo lo yenoigim lahachnas avodas kechavim bevateim bekevek k'meshkosam horosh v'tur b'zmaneim. But b'zman hazeh, most goyim are bringing into their house a shesiv yerev. Av lefiyin is daiti muchel hedir kishitas Reb Chaim Kohen, the shitz Reb Chona, shevi betoyses maskona, that fila machnas betoyche v'etz k'chavim muter lahaskir b'chutz liyoretz. This whole thing doesn't apply b'chutz liyoretz. Could be they were only making legabe to regular goy, not to base tifla. And there's a machlokes Rishonim about this. I think that it's mechur adover for sure. It's for sure that there's a Rishonim that hold that the Pashup Shad and the Mishnah it's also. But I could say that b'chutz liyoretz it's mutter and they rely on some Rishonim. Could be that Shulchan Aruch, the Shach, was relying on the im lav loy matzoni yadeinu b'ragleinu. You can never sell your house to a goy, so you know what the value of your house is going to be right now. You know, the first time they say, "Oh, there's a nishkan tipship." If they know so if there's no open market, it's like the first toys of Navay Zorah. It's taka. It's also 3 days before, 3 days after. How's a yid ever going to live? So for that, there were makel that you could rent and sell b'chutz la'aretz, but mamish tabes tifla when the machloek is rishonim about it. To me, This whole shaila is mechur adover. Mechur adover. The Eibishter can give parnasa otherwise.
What's the heter they're finding today to sell, all this great shows?
Right.
What's the heter?
So we'll talk about another time. This taka, it's true. It's true. There were Gdolei Yisrael that were makel. To obviously they were relying Lapula to sell the there was they were makel taka MS. Okay. Huh? Who? That's
all the shows for business.
yeah. There's Truvas and a Moshe where he's making with these. So I was sitting Friday and reading a Truva for a Moshe about selling a shul. About there was a shul that right next to it, a Beis Tisla, a church bought, and they wanted to know if it's mutter for them to keep on davening. A long Truva, and he's arguing with Rabbi Yonis and Steif. Rabbi Yonis and Steif said that they should sell it, and he said it's worse. They're going to sell it, and the church is going to get it. So your chumrah is a kula. And therefore he said, no, they can. Which shul is it? Re'em Ahuvim Brooklyn. I was sitting and learning in that shul.
Oh,
It's on the corner of, I don't know if it's the same Re'em Ahuvim, but no, that's a Schwarz is living there now, in the next house. But I asked my brother to find out if that's anyway, if that's, I was sitting and learning the shul. I said, hey, Mahuvim, this shul it's on the corner of
Sounds familiar.
They made a base medish on their second floor. They opened it up a few months ago. So Friday mornings on Achai, it's very nice. They have air conditioning. It's quiet. So anyway, I sit there. Okay. Someone asked me a shaila this week. Azoy. The tefillin, he bought a tefillin. It's a good shaila. That happened to me also. I went because the tefillin shel Rashi. Eventually, there's cracks, and so you have to change the Retzuous Tefillin. So the guy told me, you know what? Why don't you buy the Retzuous Black on both sides? It's so much better. I said, why is it better? So he gave me a few reasons why it's better. So I bought it, and I was thinking, it's also good. Sometimes you get mixed up Rashi and Rabbeinu Tam tefillin. So this way I know my Rashi tefillin has black on both sides, the Retzuous, and the Rabbeinu Tam is white and black. So it's okay. It's another good sim. Okay, but someone asked me a shayla this week. He showed me that someone asked Chaim Kanievsky that and Chaim told him not to have tefillin the both sides are black. Why? Because also lidei takola, you can come to takola. So he asked me if he should change back to black and white.
What's the problem?
Oh, what's the problem? So the Rambam said, we learned this week in Gemara. So we learned this week in the Gemara. Probably the shoyel was Nesoida because we learned about it in the Gemara this week. So we learned this week that Allah Moshe that there has to be the Retzuous that are shechorim. And to that we learned that there has to be minamutorim shebepicho. Okay. So there has to be shachar. The Rambam says that although the shachar is only on the outside and the inside is allowed to be white, but if the tefillin itself is also allowed to be white, but if you're going to paint the tefillin black, the inside of the Retzuous should also be black. And anyway, the noi for tefillin is that it should all be black. All black is nice. That's what the Rambam says. Now the Shulchan Aruch argues, and there's a few Ashkenazi Rishonim also. Rabbi Simcha holds like the Rambam, and most so how you read the Gemara. Most of the Rishonim hold it's not that way. Most of the Rishonim hold it's not that way. So we'll learn it inside in a minute. So back to that. So okay, but what's so terrible to do like the Rambam? I want to be machmer like the Rambam. What could be the takol? So if Reb Chaim Kanievsky says, listen, don't be an oibachoch. Don't be an oibachoch. You're an oibachoch. That's what the Ashkenazi and the Sephardi Jews are doing for so many years, hundreds and hundreds of years. Okay, but that's not what he said. He said, what kind of takola could it be? I looked, and I have to sashlikol takola. There's a letter from Reb Menachem Kosher to Reb Adin Even Yisrael. So Taka Even Yisrael asked him, I don't understand, why doesn't the Olam paint the tefillin, the Retzuous on both sides, like the Rambam said? Huh? They're both Ashkenazim. They both changed the Steinzelt. The Rebbe told him to change his name to Even Yisrael. And Kasher is yeah. And Kosher is he was a gerech chosid, he was a größer gerech tzedek. But then gewonnen a bissel Mizrachi. He was a Talmid Chochem Noide Be'oyim. He was an unbelievable guy. So there's so Kosher writes the Steinsaltz. He says that there's the Chiyushalma we pass this way that Kereshen Zocheli Nasam Etzafa Lo Nasam Medar. Why did they? Because we learned the Lamatas Malachim from the Mishkan. They wrote on the Kroshim Aleph Beis Gimel to know how to click in the Kroshim. So the Yishama says, what do you need to know? Their uniform. What was artas did? Mela the sukkah. So this Keresh is bent this way, and the other Keresh is bent the other way. So if you mark it, so it'll help you next year because where you drill the holes. But in the Mishkan it was perfect. Everything clicked into everything. What do you care? Shama says because Keresh is zochsen linotzen b'tzofen lo yinotzen b'donen. But if the Keresh was zoichet to be in tzofen, it has to stay in tzofen. So they would take chalk, they would write it, and then when they would come to the next place, they would erase it, click it, and every time they traveled, that's what they did. So said Rav Kasher that if you have black and white, so then you'll always know that the side that has to be in the outside is in the outside, and the inside is in the inside. So Steinsaltz said, but wait a minute, the Gemara says in Moed Cotton that Reb Huna was mishapach the Retzuah of his tefillin, and he fasted 40 taniyas. They haven't. Rav Huna, right? What did I say? Rav Huna. So
What might happen?
So if what went the other way around? How? So he doesn't answer him. The truth is, you could say that even if it's black and black, it's considered mishapach. I'm not sure. So that's
still see it different.
Because it's different. But also, I don't understand what Kosher is saying. That he says if you can have black and white, then always the one that's outside will be zoichet to be outside. You always could see the difference. It's a shavacha. This is shiny, and this is not shiny. I don't see it. I'll tell you this. I will tell you what I think la halacha l'maisa. There's three reasons you'd say that you want to make it black and black. One's to be choshesh for the Rambam. And that I can hear someone saying it's nonsense. Listen, Sardi, Ashkenazi, even for hundreds of years, are not choshesh for the Rambam. They say in Hebrew. Chochem and you're starting to be choshesh for the Rambam. I'm sorry. Second reason is because you don't want it to be mishapach the Retzuah. I'm not sure if that works or not work, but I hear. There's a third reason that the Sofer tells me. He says that the din is there has to be Retzuah shchoris halacha l'moshe mesina. A lot of times you have cracks. So you buy a pen and you start marking it, but when they make it black and black, what they're really doing is they soak it in the dye. And it's not shaykh, there should be cracks. There is no such thing as cracks. Eventually there'll be cracks and it'll rip. It'll be nifsika Retzuah, huh? It doesn't look good. It looks, exactly. So, and not heated at all. And this is going to be, so I'll tell you what, always you have to know that the answer is based on the shaila. Including every Goan and every tzaddik, and Reb Chaim Kanevsky, they asked him if he should change it. So, and he asked him why to be choshesh for the Rambam. So he said, "We be choshesh for the Rambam." First, I probably got a rash right away when he heard that. Reb Chaim, he said, "What do you mean? This is what you've been doing for hundreds of years." And he probably, when he said l'dei takola, he meant a small takola, maybe taka this thing. But if you're saying that there's a hidur because the Retzuos could crack, and then it's not black, it's white. And Veta Shaila from Yoitza Mitzvah's Tefillin. And that's why I want to buy these Retzuos, not to be choshesh for the Rambam. And I think it's very good. Furthermore, you can say, how come the Yidden didn't do it 100 years ago? So I'm not sure they had the technique and the technology and the money and the affording. So to be choshesh for the Rambam, listen, that's not a minute to be choshesh for the Rambam. And maybe it's going to crack. Yeah, but they couldn't afford it, all that dye and all that soaking and all that doing and all that technology. So, Mehechi Tesi, they were able to do it. If they were able to do it, maybe they would have done it. If you have now black and black Retzuos and you're going to take it off and put it into the Shemus box, that's a terrible thing. These Retzuos were zoichet to be on you and doing the mitzvah. And they're in good condition. How in good conscience could you take it off? It's keresh zochsa linosam betzafon. And now it's not going to be in Dorim. Now it's going to be in the Geniza box. Oi, how could you do such a thing to kosher and Retzuos? Reb Chaim meant lechatchila number one, and number two, he meant it for someone who's a chochem alov. He wants to be choshish for the Rambam. But as someone who's not wants, someone poshet, I don't want to have a takola, and I'll have tefillin that are not kosher because the Retzuous are not black, and these are very good. I don't see a problem. I think if they asked Reb Chaim on that account, he might have said it's not a problem. But for sure, he wouldn't say that you should take good Retzuous that you already got and take it out and put it into Gnizev. Okay, I want to finish off with one. Someone asked me a shaila about Pesichas HaAron. So I'll just take 2-3 minutes and talk about this. It's a very geschmack inyan. The Rebbe said to many people that when their wife is pregnant as a segula, that they should the 9th month of Lehiroyan, that they should do Pesichas HaAron. So the Rebbe said it many times, blitas, not to make a big issue, not to make machloikas, not to make blitas. But I found an article over here from Rabbi Yochanan Gurari. Beautiful. I don't have time to go through. Maybe I'll post it at the end of the weekend. But he has a lot of mekoides to this minig, including from the Rashba. There's a Sefer Birchas Ephraim, a Talmud from the Rashba. He says, "B'ni bonai loy tishkechu lahanig hakabola madinenu Rashba sheyar galodem beis yishtei milberes likach veliknois Pesichas HaAron kodesh mechodesh hashvi'i ve'elach." The Rebbe said it kodesh. Okay. B'shir anim zmiris. It's a little different. They did that minute from the Rashba was because they used to say anim zmiris at the end of davening, and they would open up the Aron kodesh for anim zmiris. So lahaget tefillah sheyosem Hashem b'fiv v'yu l'rotzen. Huh? Yeah, sure. I used to do it to my young Israel. I was at Rabbi Young Israel from that. So I'll tell you this. There's a few nakudas over here. The Lakutta Deburim in the Friedrich Rebbe says a few pelodic things about Pesichas HaAron. From him, it sounds like it's not only Pesichas HaAron for the person who's Pesach, but also for every person that's standing there. He says like this, that my father, the Rebbe Rashab, told him that he heard from his father. The B'Shas, Pesichas HaAron, also in heaven, they open up the Aron. And over there is standing all the Sifrei Torah and the Mesidus Nefesh of Jews in every generation. Malach Michol announces, Hashem b'heichel kodshe hasen upon of kol haaretz. And when a Yid says, Ma'oimek alei, brich shmei de mora alma, brich kisrech v'asrech, Malach Michol is mevakesh rachimim for him. And he says that in Lubavitch, always the sons of the Rebbes, were even though were young, Friedrich Rebbe said when he was so young, as soon as he was able to hold steady a Sefer Torah, so you have to give it to the Chazan. His father told him that he should go for Psicha. And he said a story that Tzemach Tzedek, that they once had a discussion with his son, Rabbi Yisrael Noach, who was a Gaon Otzum, and they came to Psakasha, and so he told him that by Pesichas HaAron you'll go and you'll be mechaven that lamtui lonem utuv nahoirach. So then, when you'll be mechaven lamtui lonem utuv nahoirach, the hechle yeraisa will open up, and they'll have na lichtigkeit and the moich v'leiv. And then he said that the Zayda, the Alter Rebbe, said that he heard the Mezritch from the Baal Shem Tov, Pesichas HaAron, and even Aposhta Yid, when he says, B'munah Pshuta Ma'omek Alei, Brich Shmei de Omar Alma, Brich Kisrech V'Yasrach, the Eibish is Mamal de Makosher, Kuloi Mektsasa. So it's interesting.
The article mentioned about the Ela, which seems to be a widespread big.
No. But I have to tell you this, two nekudas. Number one is, that people say that it's true that it's brought in this. There's a book Lubavitch V'Chayaleh that the Rebbe Rashab used to do psicha, but he was not medactic that when you come back that the Pesach, the Weltfitze, that the person that got the key with the psicha also, but in Lubavitch that wasn't the minig that whoever did the psicha, that whoever brought that the Sefer Torah, opened and put it back, and it wasn't okay. I don't know if it's so. We have to change the whatever. That's no B'chlal Yisrael. If we're going to change it here in Beis Menachem Mendel, it will be a milsa d'tmiya, and I don't think there's akpada either way. So we should leave it the way it is. But it's interesting to note that, and even though he brings from one of the Rishon, he brings here from one of the close. What?
The father debates in the Torah, he gives it to Goretz. And then got the nice render.
That's when you're taking it out, not when you're putting it back. Yeah.
Was one of them same one that he took it.
So he says in Lubavitch, the person that carried the Torah put it back. So That's one nekuda.
אלו ואלו דברי אלוקים חיים.
No, it could be. It could be. It was just like it just meroirech hazman could be the minig, just because it developed. I already got the kibbutz. It's a kal v'chomer and a shava. Another thing is, I noticed in a lot of the svarim that bring about the special segula of Pesichas HaAron is like the chidah. In Yosef Oimetz, he says, "Hamina genishtem uberes v'hi b'chodesh hatashi kloinim psichas ha'echel." I noticed. I wonder if the segula is just from opening the Aron or from buying it. I'm leaving it for you to. So this will mashma that the value is when you buy it. So it's very valuable that it adds to the schus. Akaponim. Sa'ib shall helfen that every one of us, and we're going into Gimel Tammuz, the Shivish Loishim Shana, the Eivisher should give us, we should have Pesichas HaMoyach, Pesichas HaLeiv, and the ultimate Pesichas HaMoyach of Lev to learn Terosa Shemavchiach, Bevias Mashiach Tzedkeinu.
כל הנהר. It's also good for
Yes.
I was in Chicago 4 years ago. It made it for $10,000.
Wow. I want to show you.
כל הנהר.
Sasson, you said that when you were in a church, it is when you get with the soldiers.
Yeah.
I found exactly what you did, Pedla Yoyas.